Housing has fallen by 53 grand. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. We're going to have a look at some core logic data about house prices. They've fallen $53,000, everyone. But you've got to remember, they rocketed to the moon. We had a lot of FOMO, a lot of fear, a lot of people with extra access to money that just helped pump up the market. So, the national dwelling values fell 1% in November, the smallest monthly decline since June. Now, some are saying this is the bottom of the housing crash, but housing's still insanely expensive. Is it ever going to be affordable in Australia? Frankly, I don't know. I do not know. I think those times are past now. We're not releasing enough land or increasing supply or making it easy enough for people to build to make housing affordable. It's almost as if all the talk about housing affordability is just lip service. It almost is. Even if we see a decent fall, like 20%, it doesn't mean housing is going to be more affordable, guys. It just means we'll be back, 2018? So, CoreLogic's National Home Value Index moved through a 7-month of decline in November, down 1% over the month to be 7%, or approximately $53,400 below the peak value recorded in April 2022. The decline comes after national house values surged 28.6% higher through the recent upswings, adding roughly 170 grand to the value of the average dwelling. 170 grand, not bad. Not bad, good little income there. You know, that'd put you in a nice little income bracket if you bring that in every year. You know, but your house can do it with it doing bugger all. So, I mean, we have to look at that in context. Oh no, it's fallen 53,000. I'm only up 120 grand. Or sorry, probably 110 grand. I'm only up 100 grand. And I mean, don't get me wrong. These values they're insane from a cost of living perspective and for having a household. You cannot have a single income household anymore. You need to be earning much higher money. So Australia isn't what it was like in the past, guys. We're not the 80s anymore. It's not the 70s anymore. Although the values are continuing to trend lower, the rate of decline has been consistently moderating since the national index dropped by 1.6% in August. CoreLogic's research director Tim Lawless said the easing in the rate of decline is mostly emanating from the Sydney and Melbourne markets, but is also evident across many of the smaller capitals and most regional markets. 3 months ago, Sydney housing values were falling at the monthly rate of negative 2.3%. That is now reduced by a full percentage point to a decline of negative 1.3% in November. In July, Melbourne home values were down negative 1.5% over the month, with the monthly decline almost halving last month to negative 1.8%, he said. The rate of decline has also eased across the ACT from a negative 1.7% fall in August and is no longer accelerating in Brisbane. Most of the broad rest of state markets have also seen the pace of decline decelerate. So is this just a slowing down for the silly season, or is this reaching a bottom of the market? We won't know until 6 months' time in the future. And if you're buying property, is that even something you're going to be worrying about? I think the only people that are worrying about this are the ones trying to time the market, which is bloody hard. I mean, good luck to you if you think you can do it. But, I mean, here's the thing. How many people have successfully timed the market in the stock market or in the share market or in the crypto market? How often is it just luck? I bought a stock and then the next day some news was released about a buyout, and it shot up. You know, the pure skill. Yeah, pure skill. Not just dumb luck. No, it's pure skill. Buy my online share trading course now. Just keep it all in mind. I'm getting too cynical, aren't I? Even with the beard, I'm still a grumpy old bastard, don't worry. Potentially, we are seeing, without the beard, the initial uncertainty around buying in a higher interest rate environment wearing off, while persistent low advertised stock levels have likely contributed to this trend towards smaller value falls. However, it's fair to say housing risk remains skewed to the downside, while interest rates are still rising and household balance sheets become more thinly stretched. There's still the possibility that the pace of declines could reaccelerate, especially if the current rate hike cycle persists longer than expected. Next year will be a particular test of serviceability and housing market stability as the record low fixed rate terms secured in 2021 start to expire, Mr. Lawless said. Across the capital cities, Brisbane and Hobart, both down 2%, led the monthly rate of decline in November, while at the other end of the spectrum, Perth values held firm and Darwin nudged 0.2% higher. Mr. Lawless said the Perth and Darwin markets are yet to record any signs of material reversal in housing prices. A comparatively healthy level of housing affordability, along with tight labour markets and relative strong economic conditions, have helped to insulate these cities from the downturn so far. We can see here, I mean, look at the median value of housing. We have a look here in New South Wales, in regional areas, 700 grand. So, I mean, it just shows you how expensive New South Wales and Victoria is compared to some of the other states, but definitely New South Wales. Across the board, housing types, unit markets have continued to run a run of relative resilience. In November, capital city unit values were down 0.6%, while house values declined at twice the pace of 1.2%. This trend has been seen throughout the downturn to date, with capital city unit values down 4.7% from the recent peak and home values down 8.4%. Every capital city, apart from Hobart, is recording a more resilient outcome for unit values relative to houses. Well, that's also because units took a bit of a hammering, didn't they? They didn't FOMO up as much as houses because everyone was locked in and in their units and thought, to hell with this, I want a garden. Anyway, this trend can be at least partially attributed to the more moderate gains recorded during the upswing, but probably also reflects the unit sector's more affordable price point at a time when borrowing capacity is reduced. Sydney remains the only city where housing values have fallen by more than 10% from their peak. Through the upswing, Sydney values increased 27.7% before peaking in January, despite the sharp fall in values through the downturn. To date, negative 11.4%. Sydney home values remain 10.3% above pre-COVID levels in March 2020. And there you go. That just says it all. Housing's shot up so much that even a more than 10% decline, you're still well above pre-COVID levels. So due to a weaker upswing, Melbourne values are only 2.8% above where they were at the onset of COVID. If housing values continue to fall at the current pace of negative 0.8% month on month, Melbourne's dwelling values continue to fall to pre-COVID levels by March next year. Most of the other capital cities and broad rest of state regions are still recording dwelling values at least 25% above March 2020 levels. So there you go. And you can download the full report if you want to see it. So let's have a talk about that. So we will see articles in the media, and there have been a few around. Housing falling 53%, housing down. It's still up, guys. It's still insanely up from the bloody COVID. If your hopium is that housing is going to crash significantly, there's a whole lot that has to go wrong for that to happen. Because honestly, I think they'd throw the bloody kitchen sink at the sector to keep it going. It's too many people invested. It's part of our culture. What do you reckon? As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Thanks for watching. Check out HeiseBim and HeiseSays International for other topics I discuss. Support us via our YouTube or Patreon, referral links, merch, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.